And
One big happy family.
that's what I meant, yeah. Well, thank you guys all for coming. We really feel that what we'll be presenting this afternoon is very important, and I know it's very important to you. You want to know where your money is going, why we're changing to a different record keeper for our IB retirement program. So our chancellor is here to talk to us about some of those things, and then we have Mark Hammonds from Transamerica who will be talking about the new program and answer all the questions that you guys have. So without further ado.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Good afternoon, everybody. Looks like some folks are still eating lunch. I'm glad. I grabbed mine on the way over. So, well, yeah, you could have brought it in. It's one big happy family. So, well, we are so glad to see such a great attendance. We had almost this many people, I would say, this morning, Mark. Yeah. Mark, by the way, Mark Hammond is going to do the bulk of this presentation, but I'm just going to kick it off with a couple of slides to tell you sort of why we're here and so forth. You're going to be introduced to Transamerica Retirement Solutions. Mark's going to help do that here in a few moments. And it's going to share a bit with you about the transition, and he'll get down to some of the more tactical things like dates and what needs to be done, how to do it, and so forth. But I wanted to share a little bit of information with you, and the college wanted us at the various campuses to have either campus presidents or chancellors involved in this. And I will share with you all, I was really glad to do that because I think the retirement benefits that are offered to an employee wherever they work are really important. I just happen to think they're really important here because I will share with you, and Mark would probably say the same thing. I've never encountered a retirement plan and a view toward employees' retirement like I have at Ivy Tech. Most of you know I've been around here a couple of years. The level of contribution that the employer makes upon our behalf is really good. And by the way, that's not going to change. None of that stuff changes. It's the record-keeping side of it. But it's a really good benefit here at our college. I think we'd all be hard-pressed to find retirement benefits like this anyplace else on especially on a defined contribution plan. So anyway, that's a little bit of editorializing there, nowhere in the script. And we're hoping the folks at Central Office don't mind that I said that. But yeah, it is a very important part of what we have, and the Board of Trustees, the State Board of Trustees especially views it that way too. And I'll chat about that the board here in a moment. But just a couple of quick things. So you probably have seen some of this. You're getting a lot of emails from Kelly and from others, talking about this transition. And I think these things are really important. So what's not changing? You can see it here. The contribution from the college is not changing. So, I will tell you that was my first question. So is any of that being affected? Absolutely not. But you'll see some of the benefits of why this is going on. If you're making contributions to your plan, none of that's changing. And by the way, if you and I directly work together, like here, you've heard my pitch already, especially if you're new. Especially if you're new to the college, I always encourage people to their tax benefits and other things, that you can accrue by, investing and making those investments. You're still going to have the opportunity for one-on-one counseling and discussions, as we go forward. Again, personally, I think that's really important. And then beyond that, what you're going to see are some really, really good tools. I don't know if you've had a chance to explore any of the information that has been sent out yet, but the online tools, apps, and things like that are going to be available are really nice. You can do a lot of modeling and so forth. Where am I today? Mark is going to show you some things that I think are really interesting. So where do I stand today when I take the composite of how Geraldine and I are planning for retirement, various assets, liabilities and so forth. Where does that stand? Where does it stand with, Social Security being thrown in the mix and my current trajectory? So there's some interesting things you can look at there. A little bit about the background. I promised you I'd mention something about the State Board of Trustees. So in 2014, the Board of Trustees created a retirement planning committee, or retirement plan committee. And, I thought this was really important. That, of course, was the year I was coming on board in college, but I thought it was a really significant thing they did by saying, look, this is one of the most important aspects of the overall compensation package we provide to our employers, or to our employees. It's a benefit they feel very seriously about. They want us as a college to be doing everything we can to help employees be positioned for eventual retirement, whether that's on your own trajectory or whether that's saying, gosh, I'd like it to be more aggressive than that. I'd like to have greater wealth in retirement, or I'd like to retire sooner than what maybe I thought 5 or 10 years ago. So the Board of Trustees appointed this retirement plan committee. It includes folks from faculty and staff and so forth, and they have helped look at where we are in terms of retirement benefits for the college. Along the way, the retirement plan committee hired a group called Procourse Fiduciary, and as you might expect, they are the folks, a third party. They don't have anything to do with the record keeper, whether that's AUL or TIA-CREF today or Transamerica. They are a third party who helps entities like ours look at what you're doing. One, to make sure everything is really, really, really strong from a fiduciary standpoint, and also because probably none of us in this room do this kind of thing for a living ourselves, the investing side of it and so forth, but to help make really strong and good decisions around who is servicing as the record keepers for our employees. So record keeper, and I am going to read from this because I don't want to mess it up because, well, I've never been a record keeper myself, so I want to make sure I get this right. Retirement plan record keepers are responsible for maintaining complete and accurate records of retirement plans, the accounts of the participants, and processing any necessary contributions such as qualified payments or contributions. They also make available platforms of investment options that are offered to the participants, and also planning tools, which again, Mark is just going to touch on a bit today, and you'll hear more about as we go forward. But tools that any one of us can use 24/7 to look at our own retirement plans and that process. The Transamerica folks were chosen through an RFP process that Procourse Fiduciary provided a construct for. And again, they've done this for a lot of other employers over the years. But an RFP process that looked at anybody who might want to be the record keeper for Ivy Tech Community College. The list of various folks who made proposals came down to 5, including the 2 incumbents, so AUL and TIA-CREF were in that, and there were really, really strong proposals. Now, a little bit about that. So, why was Transamerica chosen? Again, there were some very good proposals that were put forth, but a couple of really distinct things that you should know. One, the fees for managing these accounts and so forth are going to be lower through Transamerica than what they have been through the current providers or current record keepers for our college. And those fees are what you're paying. This is not some account that's the college's and we're looking for service there. This is about the fees that any one of us, because we have our assets there, end up paying. The fees are very transparent from the Transamerica perspective. There are laws that require transparency, but part of the way Transamerica and some of the other finalists do it, it's like bright transparency. So you can see the fees that you're paying, and no one's happy, but they're lower, very, very transparent. The other thing that's really interesting, and again, Mark will talk about this, is there's a really robust set of investment options available to all of us. And one of the distinctly important things, or I think it is, again, it's not the script, but is that these funds are not proprietary. So, if it were proprietary, if it was the Chris Lowry retirement record-keeping system, fortunately for you, it's not. You wouldn't want that. But if it was, and if I offered proprietary, they'd be the Chris Bond Fund, and they'd be the Chris Small Cap Fund, et cetera. And, the way that Transamerica does it is to provide a big menu of options, and, they're not all proprietary. And that's, I'll leave you all to think about that in whatever way you want, but again, the distinction, for example, with our fiduciary advisor to Transamerica, I think is important. The distinction between the record keeper and the kinds of funds that we are offered, and able to invest in. Those are some important things. Which somewhat leads us to this too. Unbiased investment education and guidance. Again, you'll have the opportunity for one-on-one. Mark will talk about this. You'll have the opportunity for calling in and getting advice, automated advice, 24/7 advice, all kinds of modeling. I played around with it when I knew this is the way we were going. I said, well, I want to play around with it. And all those different variables that, I suppose, depending upon how close we are or not to retirement, we think about to different degrees, right? So how will my Social Security plan do? How about my spouse's Social Security, or whatever those variables are. So a lot of cool tools that we can use there. Again, a lot of it's very comprehensive retirement education tools, including apps. I don't know about some of you. I'm that way. I like to have my apps. I like to be able to check things, a variety of different things right off my phone, which that's nice. So if you have that kind of proclivity, that's available to you too. This, I think, is also important. If you're somebody who says, I'm kind of more hands-off, give the general construct of where I want this thing to go and, let them manage it, you've got that ability. If you want to be really hands-on, selecting the funds and saying, well, I think this is coming with the economy, I'm going to move from this to this, you've got that ability. And if you want advice one-on-one from somebody who does this every day, you've got that opportunity too. Oops. Well, I guess those were my slides, right, Mark?
I think so.
So Mark Hammond is from Transamerica. He's going to mention this, but I am too. Mark is somebody who, as he gets ready to present to us, is going to walk you through and let you know. This is where I'm supposed to go here, Mark.
Yes.
Among other things, this is what he comes and does. And by the way, he's not a commission person here who, those of us in the room invest one way versus another, et cetera. He doesn't, make a better living as a result of it. It's not commission-based. And we talked after the last session, too. He's been in the investment world for a very long time, in spite of his youthful appearance. And so anyway, he'll take us through a little bit more information for the next 45 minutes or so. All right? Yep. Okay. Thanks, Mark. And by the way, he's the one who can answer all the questions.
All right, thank you
He
very much.
best, yes.
And as he was saying, I earned these few gray hairs I've got. I've been in financial services for 25 years, been working directly with retirement plans for about 11 years, and have seen very few plans that have as generous an employer contribution as you have here. So you should be very thankful when I tell you that college contribution is not going to change. So as he was saying, for about the next 40 minutes or so, I want to cover a lot of the key dates that you need to know what's going to happen along the process, and some take action items that you'll need to make some decisions by some certain times. We'll talk about tools and resources you've got available and what those next steps are. So he was saying, we've been in the business at Transamerica working with retirement plans for over 75 years, maybe not quite that long. And we work with over 4 million participants, and we've been recognized in our industry as having strong programs to help participants like you all be ready to retire. So we're going to talk about what's going to happen to your existing balances. Am I okay? Your contribution rate, decisions you need to make on that, and then finally your investment strategy. Right now you've got 2 record keepers. One is the AUL One America, and the other TIAA-CREF. The assets for those of you who have at AUL One America are going to be liquidated on Friday, June 10th. That trade will settle on Monday, and on Monday, June 13th, those assets will be transferred to Transamerica. They're going to go into an interest-bearing, stable value type account, and you'll earn a little bit of interest. In this interest rate environment, it won't be a lot. And then once all of the records have been reconciled from the prior record keeper, that money will get reinvested into the market based on investment instructions that you all will make during this transition period. If you do not make an investment election by the end of the date I'll talk about in May, your funds will automatically be invested in the default investment option, which is the TIAA-CREF target date funds, which we'll talk more about what is a target date fund when we get to the investment section. So let's talk about that limited access window. You're going to have access to our website beginning April 1st and ending May 13th. That's going to be that limited access window where you'll go in, make your investment elections, confirm how much you want to continue to contribute to the plan, and set up beneficiaries. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you can do that online by visiting ivyretirement.trsretire.com. If you want to talk to someone, you can call our customer care team. There's the number. And then we're going to have on-site representatives. What's the date for this location?
April 27th.
April 27th is when we'll be on site at this location. I think we'll have 2 representatives here that day.
Will we need to make appointments for that?
Yes.
Yes. There's a transition website that I think you've already all been notified of. You can go on that transition website and sign up for an appointment on April 27th in person here. And you can also do it by phone if that day is not convenient for you. So you've got 3 options: one-on-one on the 27th, website, or by phone.
This is all just for AUL, right?
Right, now there's a similar, well, that April 1 to May 13th window is for everyone.